Hi guys, it's Rob from Royal Balls. Despite the disaster on clutch number 3 with the dead and deformed snakes, life goes on. I said we'd follow clutch number 2, which is now about 3 weeks since shedding. I said we'd follow through with getting them established and getting them feeding, and you'll see from this video that it's not always plain sailing. Most of my hatchlings do eat quite readily, and clutch number 1 is doing fine, apart from one that we had to assist feed, and we'll take a look at that today. That's also doing fine, but clutch number 2 is resisting any and all attempts to get them to eat by themselves, and so I just thought I'd document that and show you some of the little tips and tricks that I've been using unsuccessfully to try to get them to eat, but they're all things that I've done in the past that sometimes does work. So we have 3 out of the 9 hatchlings from clutch 2 have actually taken their first meal, one of them twice, but 6 of them have not eaten, and we'll take a look at them after about 3 weeks from shedding, so that you can get a look at what they look like. I don't think they're in any danger yet, but it is beginning to look more and more likely that I'm going to have to assist feed 6 of the clutch, which that's a first for me. That's never happened before. So let's get a look. You can see some of the tips and tricks, you can see what I've done. Don't forget to jump in the comments below if you have any suggestions for me, what else I could try to and get these guys to eat. So over to clutch 2. Okay guys, I said we were going to follow clutch number 2 in our attempts to get them feeding, and it's now been about 10 days since they shed, and only one of them has eaten so far, so it looks like I picked a good clutch to show some of the techniques to get hatchlings to start to eat, because this whole clutch is proving to be a little more difficult than normal. So let's zoom in and take a look at some of these guys just to show you what they look like, how they're behaving, and we'll follow on with some next steps. I'm going to attempt to feed them again tonight. They have refused food now about 3 times. I've offered live rat fuzzies to them 3 times, and each time they have refused. The one that ate on the first attempt, this guy here, we'll take a look at him. He has also refused to eat again. So let's take a look, and we'll attempt to feed them again tonight and see how we do. We're going to start to use a few little tips and tricks that you may want to use yourself if you have stubborn hatchlings. So this is the one guy that did eat about a week ago now. Took a live rat fuzzy, and let's get a look at this guy. So you can see that he is actually sitting quite pretty. It's a decent sized meal for this guy, and he is still looking fairly thick and chunky. He has eaten once, so I'm pretty certain that once he gets hungry enough after this meal, he will eat again. So no concerns at all with this guy. He has eaten, and we'll just push forward with our normal protocols for this one. Okay, this is one of the ones that hasn't eaten, and you'll notice a little bit of sawdust in the tub there. That's one of the tricks that I use to try to get them to eat. Last time I fed, I took some soiled bedding from one of my rat tubs and just put it into the tub here prior to offering food, just to scent the tub for the snake. That didn't work, and actually you'll see that the snake is curled up in a ball very tightly at the back of the tub there. And in fact, most of this clutch, that's all they've done since they actually hatched out. They're not interested in even moving around. They've just curled up in a ball at the back of the tub and not even moved, and they show absolutely no interest when I put food in. You can see that this guy is still tongue flicking. He's a little bit nervous. You can see that he's huffing, but the majority of them are in this condition. They're curled up in the back of their tubs and not showing any interest in food. This guy is still not exactly skinny. It's only been a week or 10 days since they shed, so we'll just keep trying with this guy. He's not in any danger, no reason to take any additional action at this stage. We've just got to be patient, and when they decide to eat, they'll eat. So let's just take a look at this guy here. This is one of the skinnier ones, so this is one that I'm monitoring quite closely. Not in any danger yet. This guy can go another few weeks without eating before he's in any trouble. But that's something to watch out for. Pick the skinniest of the clutch and monitor the weight and condition of that guy before you decide what further action you're going to take. This is one of the pastels from the clutch. Again, sitting in the back of the tub, all curled up and showing no interest. This one actually has woken up since I picked it up. You can see its tongue flicking. That is a good sign. Let me move on to one of the other clutch mates that is now starting to exhibit some different behaviour. I've noticed that over the last few days, and it's a positive sign. So let's take a look at that one and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so this guy here has also not eaten yet, and you'll see that there is some sawdust in his cage. So we've tried that same trick with him and it didn't work, but you'll notice that this guy is exhibiting slightly different behaviour. He's not curled up into a ball, his head is off the ground, he's tongue flicking, and I've noticed that he is actually moving around his tub, particularly on an evening. So he's starting to behave differently. He's starting to go out and hunt and look for food. So this guy here is showing all the signs of wanting to eat. So we'll see how we go with this guy when we attempt to feed him tonight. You can see there that he is actually alert. It is during the day, so not the best time to offer food, but he is alert and starting to behave slightly differently to the other hatchlings. I think this guy is getting hungry. He's ready to eat. Let's just take a look at him, and you can see that he is still quite chunky, not in any danger here. He's not skinny, but he is actually becoming a little more active than his clutch mates now, and I expect the others to follow suit over the next week or so. So again, no reason to panic. We just keep doing what we're doing, and sooner or later I'm sure this guy will be the next one to eat. He's showing all the signs of wanting to eat, so let's see how we go tonight. Okay guys, it's a normal feeding night tonight. I've got live rats have been in the room for about 15-20 minutes, and I've got a special treat for the hatchlings from clutch number 2 tonight. We're going to try some live fuzzy African soft furs, but we're going to feed a lot of the snakes tonight. I'm not going to show you that, but just to show that we have scented the room, and I can see many of the snakes already moving around in their tubs. They do smell the rats, they're ready to eat, so we'll see how the hatchlings go. Let's get these out of the way. So here we go. It is early evening and it's raining, so it should be a good time to feed. What I'm going to do is just drop in a live fuzzy African soft fur into each of the tubs for the babies, and then carry on feeding the rest of the snakes, and we'll come back later in the evening and see which ones ate. Okay guys, so this is the morning after. I did check the snakes after a couple of hours, and we have one extra snake with the orange dot on there that's eaten, so now 2 of them have eaten. That's 2 out of 9. The rest again refused to eat, so this is going to be a good clutch to follow through. It'll give you some idea of the sort of timing and patience that it needs with hatchlings. Typically I would expect that all of my hatchlings would have started to eat within the first 10 to 14 days, usually straight away, but this clutch is being a little bit difficult, so we'll continue the process, follow through, and you can get a sense of how long it can take and what to watch out for if your snakes start to get into the danger zone and you need to take more drastic action. So we're still not panicking. 2 snakes have eaten, that's 2 less snakes that I need to worry about, and we have 7 snakes still to go from clutch 2 that have not yet taken their first meal. So we'll persist. It's important not to stress the animals too much. Don't try to feed them every single day if they refuse. Give them a little bit of a break, let them get even hungrier still, and try again. If you consistently try to feed them every day or every few hours, they do get a little bit stressed and become even less likely to eat. So don't stress too much, try to relax about it, and we'll come back in a day or so and see whether they've eaten again. We'll keep trying. Okay guys, so here we are with the stubborn hatchlings from clutch 2 that after nearly 2 weeks have still refused to eat. So what I'm going to do here is to just switch things around a little bit. Let's change something just to see if we can stimulate them to eat. I'm going to remove the paper and I'm going to put them on cocoa husk substrate just to see whether that makes a difference and see whether we can get them eating. Always worth making some change just to try to stimulate the feeding response. So here we go. And we still have one difficult hatchling from clutch 1, the one that needed to be assist fed. He's been assist fed 3 times now and he's readily taking assist feed but still refuses to catch and kill his own prey. So I'm also going to put this one on substrate and see if we can't tempt this one to be a little bit more aggressive with his food. Quite healthy. This is a pastel yellow belly vanilla. 3 assist feeds, and he's not grown very much, but he is growing, in no danger, but we do need him to eat. You may be able to see in the rack here, the hatchlings have now been swapped over. This is the first clutch that was in the top and they're all eating just fine. The second clutch has now moved to where they were, just to shift something around, try anything at this stage to change something, short of taking them for a drive round the block and bringing them back. But that's another thing that you could possibly try if your hatchlings are not eating. Just shift them around in the rack, see if you can find a space that they like, and they'll start eating for you. So here we are guys, this is clutch number 2, and it's now rapidly approaching 3 weeks since they shed. You will see that we now have 3 snakes. 1, 2, and this guy at the end here with 2 stickers on, he's actually had 2 meals. So we've managed to get 3 out of 9 snakes feeding using the techniques that I've shown you on the video, but we have 6 out of the 9 that are still flatly refusing to eat. They are actually all now active, and in fact they're out this morning. They're moving around, they're attentive, and it looks as if they're looking for food, but they still keep refusing to eat. It is nearly 3 weeks now. I don't think that they're in any particular danger just yet, but we are getting to the stage where I'm thinking that we may have to start thinking about assist feeding them. I just don't want to assist feed the whole flipping clutch. But it is what it is. We'll do whatever is necessary. So there you go, approaching 3 weeks, and only 3 out of 9 babies from clutch 2 have eaten. Let's take a closer look at some of these guys just so that you can get a peek, and you'll see what I mean about the difference in behaviour. You can see that this guy here is already alert and active. This is one of the ones that has actually taken 1 meal. Take a look at this one, and this one looks like he actually wants to bite me. So they are still active and strong. This one has not eaten. Let's just take him out. And get a little look at this guy. You'll see that he's still not particularly skinny. It's alert, active, tongue flicking, and in general they are more active than they were. Okay, so this is one of the guys that has not eaten yet, and you'll see that they are still healthy. Take a look at this little pistol here. Again, you'll see very, very active, coiling up very defensively and ready to strike. So it may be that it just takes that amount of time for them to get hungry. So we will attempt to feed them again over the next couple of days, and I'll get back to you and let you know which ones are eating. But they are now actually all starting to get active and move around their tubs, tongue flicking, and looking as if they are actually looking for food instead of just sulking in the corner. Let's just see if we can get this guy out without being bitten. Take a look at this guy, and again you can see not particularly skinny or looking like it's in desperate need of feeding. So again, after 3 weeks, just to give you some indication, not really panic time just yet. You need to gauge by your own snakes. But these ones are still doing okay, they just haven't eaten. And let's just get a look at this guy. This is the guy that was being assist fed from clutch number 1. Not doing very well with our clutches this year. The whole of clutch number 1 has left this guy behind. They're all eating ravenously, and this one has now been assist fed for 4 times, and I've had a few questions about how many times does it take before they actually start eating by themselves. Well, it takes as many times as it takes, but having said that, the first 3 times were definitely assist feeds that I showed in my video before. The last time that I attempted to assist feed this guy, as soon as I put food into his mouth, he coiled the prey and started to constrict it. And I was able to put him down immediately, and he finished off the job all by himself. And I'll just put a picture of that up on the screen for you guys so that you can actually see that. So that is a positive indication that he is making progress. He does know what to do, and I'm expecting that this guy will actually start to eat by himself within the next couple of meals. So let's just give you guys a look at this guy, and you can see that he has actually grown, not as much as his siblings of course, but the 4 meals that he's had have definitely increased his size, strength, and as I said, he's showing indications now that he is ready to eat by himself. So when we attempt to feed the rest of clutch 2, we will attempt to feed this guy as well and see if he eats by himself. Looks like he's almost ready. So I'll keep you guys posted on that too. Okay guys, there we go. So that's some of the trials and tribulations that I'm having with clutch number 2. 6 out of 9 have still got to take their first meal. We'll persevere, but good news on the hatchling that's being assist fed from clutch number 1. That is now actually coiling when I assist feed it, so I'm sure that one will eat by itself with no difficulties fairly soon. So again, I'll get back to you guys with that. We've got plenty more to come, lots more clutches in the incubator, more eggs waiting to be laid, so don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.